I want to talk about My Hero Academia. And I'm sure this topic might just bomb because I'm right in the gap between season 5 and 6. So I wanted to discuss two characters that get a lot of reaction out of me, which is one of my favorite characters of all time, All Might, and another character I like, Ochako Uraraka. So we're going to start with All Might first. A lot of people slander All Might as a person and a mentor to Deku, and I'm not here for it. A lot of people say that he's a bad teacher. He doesn't know what he's doing. He's somehow wrong for being the symbol of peace. None of that makes sense to me, but fine. We'll get into it. First, All Might is a bad teacher. That is very much part of his character arc, though. A genuine criticism of All Might is it reckless for him to be certainly in the downswing of his career? He doesn't have too much time left. And he's not only the biggest symbol of peace, him going to UA makes that whole school of young kids very much a target for danger, a target for villains, which is what happens. So is him going to UA reckless? Absolutely. It is absolutely reckless. Is he a bad teacher? Yeah. Yeah, he's a bad teacher. But that's part of his character arc, though. His whole character arc, as far as him being a UA professor, is teaching and being a better teacher. We see it in one particular scene, I believe, just as Izuku gets out of his first internship and he's practicing and he's trying to figure out how to take his shoot style to the next level. And All Might has a teaching for dummies handbook in his back pocket as he's going around to all of the students telling them things they can work on and do better. It's pretty awesome. Or it might be a little bit further beyond. I just feel like I watched that whole arc and that whole season over the course of like a weekend, so it all blends together. The time is a bit weird in my head. But anyway, All Might's arc at being at UA is him figuring out how to be the best teacher so he can do the most good by his students. Because day one, he realizes that as Bakugo and Deku's training arc in the first building, when Deck Midoriya is with Uraraka and Ida is with Bakugo, and there's the whole terrorist thing. You got to go get the bomb before the other team, blah, blah, blah. And Bakugo is blowing up that building. Yaoyorozu points out what everybody in that exercise did wrong way better than All Might could, and she does it way faster than what All Might could. And All Might should have stopped that fight long before Midoriya and Uraraka had a chance to end it. I mean, Midoriya was getting his ass beat. So, but that's not the most important part of being a mentor. Because when I say mentor, the first thing I think about is believing, seeing, and bringing out the best of the potential of your understudy. All Might is the first and only person to believe in Midoriya, and that pushes Midoriya to go further initially than what a good teacher could. Now, Aizawa is an excellent teacher. He's been doing this for a while, but he didn't believe in Midoriya at all until the tournament against Shinso and Todoroki. Now, from Aizawa's perspective, seeing one of your students just smash his bones apart every time he used his quirk, I totally get it. Aizawa was framed as a villain in the beginning. Not like necessarily a villain per se, but more like an antagonist to Midoriya because he's in school now. We got to keep some conflict in the plot. But certainly Aizawa didn't believe in Midoriya. All Might did. Now, the next point of people saying All Might's a bad teacher because he can't simply explain one for all to Midoriya isn't necessarily All Might's fault. And I think people miss that. All Might used one for all pretty much from the jump. Like from the beginning, he knew what he was doing. All Might in the beginning could use one for all, and all he had to really do was play around with the power output. Midori, on the other hand, is starting from like complete scratch. Like, not only is the quirk not native to his body, he has to figure out how to use it without breaking his fingers, breaking his arms. All Might could just use it, and he had to figure out how to concentrate with it throughout his entire body. The way I compared it, because All Might and Midoriya think differently. And that's problem number one that I didn't realize until I saw in Denver. And sorry, Endeavor, but we'll get to that in a second. Imagine somebody who was born as an artist. They came out the womb merely with a paintbrush in their hand. And for decades, they spent working on paintings, portraits, all of that. They were painting forever. And then someone who's young, who's more math and science brained, asks, "Hey, how do you paint?" As a painter, how do you explain that? How do you explain you see a blank canvas and you know exactly what you want to do to it to someone who's more logic and is it left brained or right brained? We're going to go left brained. I'm sure you'll correct me in the YouTube comments. But Midoriya approaches his own fights. Midoriya thinks of them more analytically. He breaks down the opponent, their quirk, the rules their quirk might be able to abide by, and tries to figure out a plan of action due to that. All Might, on the other hand, just sees the finish line of a fight. I have to do this because he's already in tune with his abilities and knows what he can or can't do. Oh, and by the way, by the time Midoriya gets One for All, it is significantly more powerful than the version of One for All that All Might got. Because not only does it grow and cultivate power, each successive person that gets it down the line, it grows by like the amount of time each person has it. Like it's pointed out that every user of One for All died young, like between the Dark Ages down to Nana Shimura, who before All Might was the longest person to have it because she had it in somewhat of a time of peace. They were just now stabilizing the world with quirks and all that, making the rules, and All Might had it for decades. He's old. Not like old, but he's old enough. So Midoriya is getting One for All that's much stronger than a version that All Might got it. So how is All Might supposed to help that? Especially when All Might got it and his body was ready for the quirk to begin with. Midoriya's 14 and he was a stick. Man was like 50 pounds soaking wet. Which brings an Endeavor. Because by the time Midoriya is able to get his quirk pretty much under control, he knows how to use it, he knows what percent he can use it at through several arcs of rigorous testing. He's trying to figure out how to take it to the next level. He's trying to figure out how to use Black Whip. And pretty much he's starting to plateau again. I think Endeavor the hero, fantastic. Endeavor the man, we can put him in a garbage can. I'm talking about Endeavor the hero today. So Endeavor the hero, his quirk of Hellflame, super edgelord name, by the way. Not even going to get to Dobby's cremation quirk, Jesus. Endeavor's quirk makes his body overheat, which causes his body to shut down. Now, he has had to focus on the same things Midoriya has had to make his own quirk for him. Because imagine just giving the strongest, most powerful fire blast, and then you're useless right after that. That was Midoriya after breaking both of his arms. You're of no use to anybody in the hero setting. Endeavor had to figure out how to make his Hellflame and be as powerful as possible for as long as possible to do the most good. So as Midoriya is at the work study, telling Endeavor exactly what he wants, Endeavor, it all clicks. Everybody looks at Midoriya like, why are you muttering? Why are you talking so fast? Shut up, nerd. Endeavor's already been there. Endeavor just gets it. Endeavor's a good teacher. That doesn't make him a better mentor, because the better part of being a mentor isn't doing everything by yourself. It's putting your pupil, your understudy, in the best place to succeed. All Might encourages Midoriya to go with Endeavor. Hey, he's current number one. He's been practicing forever. I know how good he is. Go be with him. He knows how good Gran Torino is. Go be with him. He knows how good Aizawa is. Go soak up all the knowledge you can from that. Fight Bakugo. Beat his ass, young Midoriya. So all the All Might slander about him being wrong, him not being the best symbol of peace, him being a terrible mentor, I'm not buying it. He's a bad teacher, but that's the point of his arc. We have character flaws for a reason.